So I'm going to start that, and that's important. I'll edit it and upload it when we're done. Now, huge respect to a lot of you who are giving me the next lessons classwork in advance. Please, you don't need to do that. I really am pacing ourselves to finish before the end of term or finish soon after we get back. So I'm pacing it quite well because I want to keep you together as a class. I can't teach you individually, unfortunately. So I'm taking little bite-sized chunks of trigonometry and I divided it across a whole week's worth of lessons. So I don't want any of you to do a lot of anything. Just do the bit that's required and get solid at it rather than saying, here's tomorrow's work, sir. Here's tomorrow's work, sir. Ibrahim and some other guys are uploading the work to the wrong homework section. So, for example, one guy uploaded some work, which was good, but to one of the registers. I've got to keep an online register. Don't upload anything to the register, because I would never think of going there to look for work. In fact, I only really look for work if you send it to my email address, cchristu@normanhurstschool.co.uk. Then I can feed back to you and copy in Mr. Clare and Mrs. Barnard, because I'm using private email addresses of children, and there is a protection, and there is a, what's the other word I'm looking for? There are issues behind that, so I've got to keep it open and let everyone involved that we're talking, but show my homework is a little bit more hidden, and I don't want it to be hidden away from us. Let me show you something which you know is completely true, and because you've done all these questions, but I want to highlight something, and then we're going to go on to the next little bit of teaching, and I do mean a bit, it's not a lot. Too many of you who are good readers did not read the question, and that led to some really silly work being produced unnecessarily. It says, if this thing would just like obey me, here we go. Find the lengths of the sides marked with letters using the sine formula. So all of these are sines. Find the lengths of the sides marked with letters using the cos formula. All of these are coses. And the other one, of course, is this one that says, find the lengths of the sides marked with letters using the tan formula. So question 1 was all about sine, question 2 was about cos, question 3 was all about using the tangent formula, and a couple of you at least made it all about sine. All about sine. I'm not going to set 3 questions on the same thing. Question 1 practices the sine formula, question 2 the cosine formula, question 3 the tangent formula. Question 4, which is going to be about today a little bit, is all mixed up and you've got to choose the right one. Question 5 is something different which they demo, but they don't give you which formula to use. And question 6, Faz, although it's extension, I'd like you to try it, guys, because I want to give you a grade 6 just for that one alone. I'd love to give a grade 6 because that's, you won't get that on a foundation paper, therefore that is grade 6. And the other 2 lessons are coming up in exercise 2. So first thing is, read the question carefully. The second thing is, please don't feel hard done by if I ask you to draw a simple little triangle, put the angle in it and the side given and the letter of the side. Just copy it. It won't take you long. I'm not rushing you with a whole heap of work. All right. So today's teaching, here she is. These 3 formulas, there's no shortcut. You've got to memorize them. And you got to use them in any given situation. Only one will be relevant in a given situation for a single triangle, but for more advanced questions, some or more. And other formulas can be involved as well, but that's year 11, grade 8. So I demonstrated these 2 for the first introductory lesson. I demonstrated sine. Now many of you guys either you're too smart, or you think you're too smart, or too arrogant. You're just jumping into this little bit. You're just saying h equals blah blah blah. No. First show me you can set up an equation with the correct ratio, the sine ratio, the cos or tan ratio. I use the word ratio because you're dividing one length by another, and that's 2 of the same length, 2 of the same unit, hence it's a ratio. So they're called ratios as well. Anyway, so set it up correctly then rearrange it, and then get your answer. That's why it's 3 marks. That gets you a mark on its own, even if you don't know how to rearrange it. There's a mark right there. There's your second mark for rearranging, and there's your third mark for the answer. All right. So at 3 marks, I'd love to see 3 steps. I mean, Zame's and Henry's were particularly memorable because they were clearly presented. I saw steps. It was wonderful. So that's that. So this is just revision, yeah? This is one involving tangents to look after question 3, and this is for question 5. Now, question 4, there's nothing to demonstrate. Let me go back to the camera as well, because I want to just get you to watch something. Now, here for question 4, it's just like question 1, 2, and 3, but all combined. Find the lengths of the sides marked with the letters using the appropriate trigonometric formulas. Now, you look at this, you think, I've got 1 down there, and I've got the long side there. If that M is down the bottom there, down the base, I reckon that's going to be cosine, because it's down the bottom. No. It's not cosine. You pick up the book, you turn it round so that the angle is positioned there, and you can see the M is actually opposite the 61. Do you agree with that? Does anyone on planet agree? Okay, nobody agrees. Oh, I'll be teaching myself. So M is opposite the 61. The 17 is opposite the right angle. I've got an opposite. I've got hypotenuse. Therefore, this is all about sine. Why? Because I need to look at these formulas? No, I don't. I learnt these time ago. So you would set this one up as sine 61 equals M over 17. Then rearrange it, 2 marks. Get the answer, 3 marks, grade 5. So I want you to be really careful about these, really careful. Draw them wonky like they've done it, draw them the wrong way round, because that's what you're going to get at GCSE anyway. But then you take your book and you position it correctly. I can see that sign. I think I'll do B. My goodness, they've done that one upside down. I need to move my book around. Oh look, angle, opposite, adjacent. What's that all about? Sine, cos, tan. Which is it? Well, somebody needs to speak. I've got an angle, I've got an opposite, I've got an adjacent. What do you make of that? Sine? Cos? Tan? Was that you, Izzy? Okay, Henry, you're the most vocal. So for Henry, sine, cosine or tangent for that one? It's meant to be upside down on your screen, because if you heard me correctly, some of these are drawn upside down, so we're going to turn it around the right way up. Okay. Correct. Because if you get it round the right way, not the way they've done it, I mean, it's going to be hard to decipher which of the 3 rules you need for that. That's the right way, all right? But would you say that's opposite the angle? Maybe you would. You might call that the hypotenuse. I don't know. If you turn it round the right way visually, so that you can definitely see that the opposite really is opposite and the adjacent really is next to the angle, then you've got a tangent ratio to deal with. And that's all question 4 is. Now question 5, I'll reduce down the camera and call up one of these. Right, question 5 is different. They do demo it, but it's different because here they want you to find the side, but look at the positioning of this. I've demoed it with, this is for question 5, by the way. I don't think I wasted any of their questions. There's only 4 of these little things. So I made up one myself in class. So here it is. I've got an opposite, I've got a hypotenuse, I've got an angle. 15 is opposite the angle, so I'm definitely talking about sine. So Faz, let's get a mark. The sine of 47 is the opposite, 15, divided by the hypotenuse x. Well, all along, so far, the thing we wanted has always been on top. Makes life easy. Here, the thing we want, the length we want, is trapped underneath. So I introduce an extra step. You've got to get the x to the other side and multiply. Why? Because at the moment it's dividing. So take it over and multiply. But sir, there's nothing to multiply by. I know. We don't need to multiply x by sine 47 because we don't know what x is. That's what we're trying to get. Once you've got everything on a level, as I like to say, x times sine 47 is 15, you take the sine 47 over and divide. So Zane, Tyann, be careful with these. I know you don't like rearranging. So if I multiply now by sine 47 and the 15 is already on the other side, it's the sine 47 that must go to the other side and divide as seen. And then you pick up your Casio, which I've not called up, but if you go 15, divide sine 47 in a bracket, press equals, you get 20 point something, which I've rounded off to 1 decimal place. Is that all right? Okay, I'm guessing that's all right. I've given everyone screenshots, which I've sent, and again for the third lesson, no one's thanked me yet, and that's another lesson to come. So that's probably tomorrow, and that's probably me going over some of the stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, that's done. You should be asking me any questions you want right now about question 4 or question 5, because that's all I'm going to set you. Now Neha did it early and she got them all right, so I left it as submitted. For some of you other guys, I didn't leave it submitted because it was wrong, or at least some of them were wrong. But now you've had some teaching and a chance to talk to me, you should be fine. Again, this is classwork. Please don't make me wait days and days and days. I can't have that because we got our 4 lessons spaced out, and every lesson's a Zoom lesson, small bite-sized chunk of maths. Yeah. Does anyone need to talk to me about this? Question 4. Question 5. Have a look. Turn the book around. There's me book. Turn the book around. Get it to get the shape in the right direction, so you don't get confused or baffed or tricked by the way it's been positioned on the paper, because the paper and the book is yours. Just move it around and make it fit. So Izzy, you've probably done all this, but I still want screenshots of your book, please. Send it to my email address, and anyone else who's done it already. But based upon today's teaching, you may want to reflect on what I've said about some of the questions in question 4, where it's all mixed up and jumbled.